I have just secured myself a new client who wants to be buying consistently from me. When you start pig farming, one of the most difficult things you're likely to face is how to get people to buy your pigs when they are ready for the market. That is one of the challenges. I know we have pigs not growing as part of the challenges, mortality as the challenges, but marketing is also part of it. How you be able to make sales. Lately, what I've come to see is that majority of us are good at producing the pigs and raising them to the standard. But when it is time for them to be released for people to buy, that is where we struggle. But you know what? I have always been trying to find out ways and means to discard my pigs when they are ready. So recently, I was doing nothing on my farm and I had like free time. So I decided to pick my motorbike, just roam around in the town, visit some people. And if you're also familiar with Ghana and how we are able to sell our product, you get to see that those who help us more are those who are into beer bar and drinking spots. There are those, if you go to where they are selling alcoholic beverages, you see that they also prepare or cook some meat and reserve them, either goat meat or beef like that. But the majority of them resort to pork. You go to the drinking spot, you see a bowl or a silver where they have put some meat inside. That's pork they are selling, majority of them. So as I decided to take a ride in town, I made my mind to visit a particular spot. It was just a small location. I saw how like people were patronizing, going and coming in like that. So I decided to go to the place, sit and observe what was happening. So after observing the first day, I saw that people go to buy the alcoholic beverages. They get their small plate, get some meat in it, go to sit and they enjoy themselves. Another set will come, do the same thing. So I looked at what was happening. And the next day I went there once again. So when I got there, I met the lady, like the owner of the spot. So I asked her that I could see this is pork we are preparing. How do you get the pork? I'm really interested in them. But before that, I had already patronized the pork. I bought two of it and then I enjoyed myself before I tried to inquire from her. Because I decided to build some kind of rapport with her so that she'll open up when I decide to ask her questions about how she sources her pork. And then she told me that there's one guy over there by the roadside. He goes to buy the pig, slaughters, and then she goes to also buy from the man. And then comes to sell. She also comes to sell in her spot. After which she goes back to pay the money to the man. And also it means you don't buy the whole pig, but you rather go to buy the pork from another person who is not even a farmer. He said yes. So I said, so how is the cutting done? He said, okay. For him, he cuts them into pieces, smaller sized. So two of the pieces cost 5 Ghana cedis. But when she comes, she sells one for 3 cedis. So making 6 Ghana cedis for every 2 pieces she gets. She gets 1 cedi for it. I said, wow, then that's a good thing. So I asked her, aside that, what does he also do for you again? And then she said, when she buys like 300 Ghana cedis, the man just counts in that sense 2 for 5 cedis. So she gets the 300 Ghana cedis, after which he now puts additional ones as her profit or her share of it. That's okay, it's not a bad idea. So I told her that actually I am to pig farming. I suggested that what if you do something like this? I'll supply you the pig, live pig, a whole one, not pieces. And then you will slaughter. I'm not going to ask you for this particular amount, but I know that this is how much you cut into. Like, and I've seen the sizes you cut the pig, you cut the meat into. So I'm sure you can also cut it when you get a whole pig by yourself, a whole carcass. You can cut it into that sizes for yourself. So let's do it this way. What if I supply the pig or I have it slaughtered on my farm and the whole carcass brought to your site and then you cut it into pieces? I'm not looking for a particular amount from you, but all I want you to do is cut it into this size, and the amount you get from it, I'll take my share of it, and then you keep the profit to yourself or the extra to yourself. It's okay, that wouldn't be a bad idea, because to her, if she's even able to get a whole carcass like that, she'll be happy rather than going to be buying in small quantities all the time like that. So that will even help her. And also in my case, I'm not going to let you come to my farm to buy. I will bring the carcass, I'll slaughter it and do everything, dress it, bring it to you. All you got to do is to cut it. into pieces, and after what you have gotten, you know how much I'll take from it, and then you can also keep the rest. So after suggesting this, she was happy, and after 3 days, I tried the first one. I gave her a grower, not a big pig. I brought her a grower pig, which I slaughtered and had it delivered to her. So she said, "How much am I expecting?" I said, "I'm not expecting anything. Just cut it into the sizes you have. Cut it according to." And you know what? The pig or the grower that if I were to sell to her, maybe I will sell to her a live weight for maybe 27 Ghana cedis per kilo for the live weight. But because I didn't sell, you know what happened? When she did the cutting, I sold everything. After even giving her her part of the profit, what I still got for the pig, as if I were to sell the live pig, I made, instead of the 27 Ghana cedis, I made close to 30 Ghana cedis per kg for the live pig. So I started, I said, wow, so that means if things are moving this way, I could be selling my pigs at 30 Ghana cedis per kilo. Wow, that's a good investment. So I tried the next one. I gave it to her. She said, "How much fancy?" I said, "No, just cut. Do the same thing as you did." And it also happened the same way. And she was happy. I was happy myself. So wow, that's good. Okay, but the unfortunate thing is, before I met this lady, I had already sold a significant number of my growers because I had about 12 growers on the farm. But before I met her, I had already sold 7, leaving only 5. So I was only able to supply her the 5 on that consistent basis. So I asked her about her specifications, and then she said due to the nature of her sport, it's not that big, and her space is also small, so she does not want to stock large quantity of meat in her freezer or something like that. So all she wants is a grower, pigs that are weigh between 40 to 60 kilos, so that in 3 days maximum they are exhausted. So if I want to supply, it means I have to try and then meet that weight for her so that she can always finish the stock and then get fresh ones all the time. She doesn't want to keep them too long in the freezer. I said, well, we have no problem. We can work something like that for you. But like I'm saying, as I'm talking to you, I don't really have growers at this time. I've sold all the growers. Those which are there are just above 70 and 80, 100 kilos, and less than 40 kilos, which is not something within her specifications, because I still have younger pigs that are about to enter that phase. So once they get there, I will decide to then supply. Okay, so it is a good thing. I was really happy when I made myself available like that. I approached established that kind of a rapport with her. We had some few chats, and I saw how happy she was dealing with pork herself. So I was able to introduce myself to her. Okay, so if you're also there, I always encourage you that if you're on your farm, don't always feel too comfortable or relaxed on the farm, expecting the people to come to you. These days, we have a number of people, more people entering pig farming than ever. So if you relax on your farm, you don't go out there and look for the market yourself. Your animals will be ready, and that will be the time that you'll be calling people to come and buy, and the price will even come to give it to you. You'll not be happy. But make yourself available. Don't be afraid of anybody. Just go there, introduce yourself. This is what you do. You do this. To me, when I go to you, I say, I do this for a living. I tell people I do pig farming for a living. For those that know me as a graduate, they say, I will graduate. When you went to the school, you didn't even do anything related to pig farming. Why are you so comfortable about pigs like that? I said, you don't know what pig is doing for me. So just make yourself available. Let people know you for what you're doing. Always be ready to introduce your business. This is what I do. Alright, so what I'm just saying right now is something I'm really working on very hard. I want to ensure that at least I'm able to get about 4 clients who will be buying consistently, so that maybe I'll secure one for myself, and then the remaining 3, those of you around me, and maybe those who are very close to the location, I can then start sourcing your product and so connecting you with those buyers. Okay, so that is something I really want to work on it very, very hard, because it saddens me. It pains my heart anytime a farmer calls me that, Francis, I have about 15 pigs I want to let go, but nobody is even showing interest. A guy came here, was giving me 23 Ghana cedis per kilo, and I wasn't happy with the price. And and I hear something that, considering how the cost of feed is increasing and all the input costs, okay, it's not your fault. Sometimes due to location, over saturation is over there. And also, let me just chip this one in. If you go to also source, or you are trying to secure yourself a buyer or a client who is already having somebody supplying to her regularly. If you go there, please, in this business, people are fan of bad mouthing. They go then they speak ill or bad about other farmers so that they can get the supplier. Don't do that. If you go, just tell her or tell them in your conversation or your negotiation. Let them know that this is what you will do differently on your farm. So if you are given that chance, this is what you'll be doing for them. This is what you provide. Don't go and bad market everybody. In the Akan language, they have something like "Yemkum obedini indibia." Literally means you can't kill we don't kill a trader just because we want to trade. So make sure you just tell them what you can do for them. Don't go and overpromise. If you overpromise and you're not able to fulfill them, you have already lost the market. And be able to be consistent. If you get them, you're able to secure the market. Be consistent with your produce. Give it to them what they need back to back. And like I said, don't be afraid to expose yourself out there. There are people who are willing to get your product, but they don't know you are even doing it. But here's me, Francis. Anytime I'm doing nothing, I prefer to get in touch with people who are also dealing with my line of business, especially those that do the porking itself, slaughter, and then people get to buy the meat. So for me, I always love to experience that, and I love to connect with people who are also doing that. Even if they don't buy from me, and I have their numbers on my phone alone, I'm happy. Okay, because from time I can just go there, interact with them, and see what they also doing, how much they buy the picks for, and I compare the prices. And also, if I am moving in town, I'm always dressed casually. That's how I dress. Anytime you see me, I'm dressed casually because I'm ready to go. The moment I get a phone call, Francis, I have this raw materials over here. It's in this location. Can you come and pick them up? Or can you check if you like them? You then pick them up. It's not the time for me to now go back and change into my casual wear. So, no. So I'm always in a casual way. So the moment I get that call, I'll rush there, go and check. If it is something I need, I just load them into the vehicle. Or if it is something small, just tie it to my motorbike. I'll rush back looking dirty like that. That's me. I love it to do it that way. So don't be afraid, expose yourself, and don't be comfortable in your zone. Come out, and that is where you get the market for your product. So one thing also that I learned after interacting with this lady was that I directed her place initially because it was just a small place under some tree. I said, no, this lady cannot be a customer or a client to me. She can't. No. This small place. But when I started there for the third day, I saw how people were buying the meat. I said, wow. See young guys, young women, they just enter the. Some even come to buy the fresh one from the fridge directly because she has cut them into pieces like that. Some come to buy the fresh one. So she will then count two for 6 days, and be giving it to them like that. In 3 days, this small place, in 3 days, we finish a whole pig. That's good. Okay, so don't underrate. Just start connecting with people. Remember, you don't have to be competing with the bigger farms. If they are looking at supplying 20 pigs a week to a particular buyer or butcher, don't try to compete by going there. You fail. Or if you're just starting, don't try to produce so you'll be supplying maybe 20 pigs a week. You fail. All you can do is start small, get one buyer who will be buying from like every week. They buy at least one from you. It's not a bad thing. And then you look at the market. If it is moving smoothly for you, you increase it to 2 purchases per week. So every week you sell 2 pigs. In a month, you sell like 8 pigs. Okay, so 8 by 52, which is the whole year. It's not a small number of pigs you have like that. So just target something, start something small, and know that with this kind of clients, I can meet his demand all the time. So every week, I know that I'll be releasing 2 pigs to this buyer. Aside trying to get the people to also buy, like I discussed in one of my books, how I used to get people together and then I'll slaughter and then make sure I distribute to them, get my money from them that very same day. If you can't go according to that, just go out. Look for somebody who will be very consistent with you. And also try to build some kind of trust with the people. If you don't trust them, you can't do business with them. Okay, because this lady, I trusted her, how she was doing her activities. I just said, this is a pig. I'm not taking any amount from you. Slaughter it, cut it into pieces, and after getting the money, let's know how much you have. Then I know how much to take from it and give you the remaining. This way, I'm not buying. Just be like you are assisting me to buy it, but I pay you for your time and also the resources you use. Okay, the cooking ingredients, the pepper, tomatoes, and maggi, the salt you use. I am paying you for all those things. Just help me sell them. That's what I just told her. And she did the right thing. So always target few people. If it is once a week, if you're starting out, if once a week is even better, then you increase it. As your market is expanding, you increase it. So to get to a time, you can even supply like a 5 in a week. It's not a bad thing for you to do. But as you are starting, just something small, manageable. You should be fine with it. I wanted to hide this from you, but if you're in this business and you are trying to relate it with to a religion too much, you might not end up getting the right people to help you sell your product. As Christians, because we say we don't want to drink, so we don't want to have anything to do with the drinking sport, but these are the people that can help you sell your pigs easily. So you can work in strategic partnership with these people. There are some of them, they are also just starting out in their beer bar operation business, and they just have a small fridge for their drinks alone. So you can even work in partnership with them where you can even get a freezer where your products will be inside for them. Just like the bigger brands, Coca-Cola would do, buy fridges for their clients and then be supplying all their product to them in that fridge. So you can do something like that, work in that strategic partnership, and then maybe if they are interested in getting that particular fridge, you can then be deducting small from the sales they make from your product. And you see that in no time, you are in alliances with them and your farm is doing better and you don't have to stress yourself with the buyers anymore.